In this video, I'm sharing exactly how to lose fat as a petite girl and why following generic weight loss advice is actually making it harder. I'm 5'3", and for years I struggled with looking skinny fat or fluffy even though I wasn't necessarily big. It took trial and error, but I figured out what really works, and I want to share it with you. If you're new here, my name is Paulina and I help women lose fat, tone up, and rise into their fittest version ever. This video is broken down into chapters. First, we're going to talk about who's actually considered a petite and why losing weight is harder when you're short. Then we'll cover the unique advantages we do have as short girls because there's some really important ones that no one talks about. And finally, I'll walk you through exactly how to eat and train to finally get results without crashing out. Let's start with what petite even means. If you're 5'4" or under, no matter what you weigh, you fall into the petite category. Okay, now that it's only short girls here, I have bad news. You're not crazy, and it actually is harder to lose weight when you're short, and it can take twice as long. And obviously it's not our fault, but understanding the unique challenges we face gives us a unique advantage. Because once you know how your body actually works, you can stop following the generic advice that wasn't made for you in the first place. Because we literally take up less space, we naturally have smaller organs and less lean muscle mass. And since muscle burns more calories at rest, that means that we naturally burn fewer calories. Tall people are born with more muscle simply because of their larger frames, meaning their metabolism is naturally faster. So they can eat more and maintain their weight with less effort. Let's say you're 5'2" and you and your friend go on a trip. Your friend is taller, she's around 5'9". You both eat out, enjoy all the food, and don't really track anything. But here's the thing, her maintenance is around 2,500 calories while yours is closer to 1,700. So overeating by a couple of hundred calories doesn't affect her much. Meanwhile, same meals could put you in a surplus. Not because you eat more than her, but because your body just needs less fuel overall. And since you have a smaller frame, even something small like a 5-pound weight gain will show up more noticeably on you than on her. And here's something that most people forget. Restaurant portions and serving sizes are based on a general population. So when you finish your plate, which I always do, it's really easy to eat past the point what your body actually needs without realizing it. Unfortunately, that's not all. Because when you actually enter a deficit, weight loss can take twice as long than for someone who's taller. It's frustrating, but because we burn less calories overall, the process takes longer. As short girls, we just have less room for error. But don't worry, because there's actually a way to increase your maintenance, and I'll be sharing it later in this video. Before you get depressed, here's the good part. Our height actually works in our favor in a few big ways. Same as weight gain is more noticeable, weight loss is as well. Even small changes can completely change how our body looks. And while fat loss may take a little longer, that actually works in our favor. It gives your skin more time to adjust, so you're less likely to deal with sagging or stretch marks. It's also more sustainable because you're putting less stress on your body and you're more likely to maintain the results long term that way. There's also the fact that we need less food overall, which yes, can feel annoying, but it does mean lower grocery bills, less cooking, easier meal prepping. Also, when you start strength training, you'll see results faster. Because of our smaller frames, muscle gain shows up quicker, so you get that instant gratification, which is so motivating in the gym. And when we train, we have a lower risk of injury. Shorter limbs put less stress on joints, which is a plus if you're lifting regularly. And fun fact, studies have shown that shorter women tend to live longer. Now that you know the pros and cons of weight loss when you're under 5'4", let's break down how to actually eat and train to get results. Nutrition will be the main driver of your body composition, and this process will happen in two phases. First, you go through a cut, which is when you enter a calorie deficit to lose fat and look more lean. Then you transition into a reverse diet and maintenance, where you gradually increase your calories to support your metabolism and build lean muscle. And while most people focus on the cut, I'll argue that the reverse is more important for us. This is actually how you get unstuck from being skinny fat. Because as petites, we naturally carry less muscle, building that lean mass is what's going to get us that toned look we're after. That's the part that shapes your body and speeds up your metabolism long term. Let's break down exactly what you're going to do in each phase, starting with the cut. Most of us have heard the generic advice, never eat below 1,400 calories. But here's the thing, if your maintenance is lower to begin with, your deficit will naturally be smaller too. Use a TD calculator to calculate your maintenance and deficit calories. Make sure it takes your height, weight, and activity level into account. Scroll down and click on macro calculator. Choose a high protein option. If this seemed too tedious and you're confused as a beginner, I would honestly recommend Macro Factor. I'm not sponsored by them, but it will do that calculation for you, and will also adjust it for you week to week based on how much you're losing. Once you have your numbers set up, you can start tracking your food in MyFitnessPal, which is completely free, or again the Macro Factor app, which is $12 per month. You'll want to measure your weight and take progress photos at least weekly. By the way, if you want to make your fat loss phase feel easier and less miserable, I would watch this video next. I share 11 hacks to dieting that make it feel easy. A moderate deficit for most people leads to around half to 1 pound of fat loss per week. But since we're shorter and burn fewer calories, a good rate might be closer to 0.3 to 0.7 pounds per week. A deficit phase should last anywhere from 8 to 16 weeks. And specifically for us petites, I would not recommend going too long. 12 weeks would be a good time to stop. That's because to stay in a deficit, you need to keep decreasing calories. And with our maintenance being low already, there's just so much we can keep decreasing until it becomes unhealthy. Seriously, never go below 1200 calories. That is the absolute minimum your body needs to function. Dieting too long is actually super counterproductive anyway. It leads to muscle loss and an intense diet mental fatigue, making it more likely for you to gain or bound weight and develop unhealthy eating patterns. That is exactly why the next phase is more important than the cut. If you want to go from skinny fat to lean and toned and actually keep your results long term. Once you lost the amount of body fat you were aiming for, or you've been in deficit from 12 to 16 weeks, the next step is a reverse diet. And that is where you slowly increase your calories week by week until you're at maintenance or slightly above. The goal here is to give your body fuel to build muscle and push your maintenance as high as possible. So you'll be maintaining your weight, eating more, building muscle, and losing fat. Sounds too good to be true, right? I'm personally going through a reverse right now, and I'm eating 700 calories more, but my weight is exactly the same, and I'm looking even more lean. This process can feel scary at first, but you need to trust it. Your body is smart, and it knows what it's doing. And remember how because we're petite, we have slower metabolism? This process is exactly how we build lean muscle mass to increase our metabolism. You'll want to increase your calories by about 100 to 150 every week. Monitor your weight, strength train, and make sure that you eat enough protein to signal your body to build muscle. The goal is to bring your intake to the highest possible level where your weight stays roughly the same. It can take anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks depending on how long you dieted before that. But this will not work unless you seriously prioritize your training and protein intake. These two are key factors in building lean muscle. So here's where the training comes in. One of the biggest mistakes I see girls do when they're trying to lose weight is doing too much cardio. But what usually happens is you end up burning off muscle along with fat, so you look smaller but still soft. I was a cardio bunny myself for years because logically it kind of makes sense. Like if you want to lose weight, you're gonna burn the calories off. In reality, cardio just puts you in a caloric deficit. So it's something that you'll need to keep doing and increasing to maintain the fat loss. If you actually want to look toned and maintain your results long term, strength training will need to be the foundation of your routine. Your main focus in training will be lifting weights because that is what actually increases how many calories you burn at rest. You don't need to train every day. 3 full body sessions a week is a great place to start. Once you get more consistent, you can move on to 4 to 5 day split. The most important thing is progressive overload. That means doing same key exercises from week to week and focusing on increasing your weight, reps, or form. Push close to failure so your muscle actually get the signal to grow while maintaining good form and actually feeling your target muscle. If you're a beginner, definitely check out my last video. I break down the most common mistakes that make women look bulky instead of lean when they start lifting. Now for cardio, think of it as a tool to use strategically, like 10 to 15 minutes of zone 2 cardio after your lift, and aiming for around 8 to 12k steps per day is more than enough. This supports fat loss, recovery, digestion, your mood, and sleep. Overall, your training should not be about burning calories, but building that lean muscle mass instead. This means lifting heavy, fueling your body, and prioritizing recovery. And that is exactly how you get toned, strong, and lean as a petite woman without burning yourself out. I'm planning to share a lot more petite specific content soon, so if this resonates with you, definitely subscribe. And if you have any tips or lessons that help you lose fat as a short girl, share them in the comments. I would love the comment section to become a helpful space we can all learn from. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.